Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the worst day of my life. And no, this is not some like clickbaity type of video. It really was like the worst day of my life. So I don't know if I'm going to be giving like the same energy as I do with like my other videos. It's going to be an emotional video, but I'd like to share and let you guys get to know me a little better, know some of my past experiences. There's a lot about my life that like no one really knows about, or just my close family and friends know about. So I don't know how to feel. I'm feeling so awkward. I have like really bad anxiety right now. Let's get into the video. So the worst day of my life was about a month ago. It was on July 4th, 4th of July. And so me, my mom, and my little brother went to Chicago at Navy Pier to go watch the fireworks. That we went, like, this wasn't the first time that we went to Chicago to go watch fireworks. It was probably like our second or third time going, but it was just the three of us. There's six of us. My sister couldn't make it. My other brother Isam was, I think, at work or something. My brother Khalid, it was like his first day off from work, so he just wanted to stay home, so it was just us three. And then, you know, it was just a normal day. I was just getting ready, did my makeup, I did my hair, I wore a dress, which is rare for me because I don't really like dresses, but I wore a cute like bodycon dress. And then and then I got my little brother ready. We waited for my mom to come home so we can start driving out there, and it was insane because the traffic was insane, especially going to Chicago late because we went around like 5-6 o'clock. Barely any parking spaces were open. We had to park at like some different place. We had to park like 2 blocks over at a different like place because like the Navy Pier parking was completely full. And then, you know, we got into Navy Pier and we had our bags checked and we got a metal detector and everything. We had all of that. So it was all checked and everything, and then we went inside, and it's only one thing that I wanted to go to was the Ferris wheel, because I love going on Ferris wheels. I love looking at the views from all the way at the top. I find it so gorgeous because I love scenery views. And then yeah, we went on the Ferris wheel, and then my mom wanted like this elephant ear with like ice cream on it, and it looked good. It tasted good too. So she's waiting in line and I'm sitting down because I'm tired, like my feet hurt, like I just want to sleep, but I just wanted to sleep at that point. I was tired. And then the fireworks started to happen, and I grabbed my little brother, made sure he stayed close to me. We watched the fireworks, and then my mom came back from the line of getting her elephant ear, and she was eating her elephant ear, feeding me it too. She was feeding me it too, and then the fireworks ended almost around like 10 o'clock. Around 10 o'clock, and then we went back inside. And if you've been to Chicago or you've been to Navy Pier, at Navy Pier there's like obviously like the outside part where there's like the rides and all that stuff, and then there's the inside part where it's like restaurants, like stores, and then they also have like this greenery place with all these like plants where you can take cute pictures. And then we like sat down for a minute because it was just way too crowded, so we just sat down, waited like a couple, you know, like 5-10 minutes. We just waited for like 5-10 minutes so we can like wait for the crowd to like calm down, because there's just so many people like just trying to get out. You know, before we even got to the door, we did see a group of people fighting, and we didn't really think anything of it. And then we're about maybe not even a foot away from the door, and we're not even like 2 feet away from the people that actually caused the threat. Before I go any further, I just want to say that my little brother has autism, so this experience for him was 10 times worse than it was for me. I don't really think about it too often because it's just something that happened in my life. It's like a tragic story that happened in my life, but I just wanted to share and kind of give some opinions about what happened. But continuing on with the story, just in a split second, chaos happened and everyone was running. That's like the first thing I remember. I can't really remember every detail because my adrenaline was so high, but I just remember in a split second everything was fine. I was smiling with my mom and my brother, and then chaos. Everyone was running, and it was like, let me show y'all. Here's like the threat, people stabbing each other. Here's me and my family, and then here's a restaurant. I remember the first thing I did was grab my mom and my brother. That was the first thing I did, because my phone was about to die, so I was like, if I lost them, I don't know how I'd find them. And then we got under a table, and then I covered my brother because he was getting like stepped on. You know, most of the injuries from what happened was just people trampling over each other, and like, Bismillah Rahman Rahim, that like nothing happened to my family. The most I had was just like a few bruises, and like my back was sore and my arms were sore. But then I covered my brother because he was getting stepped on, and then he ended up getting his like, I remember people were stepping on his head, and I tried covering him more. And then we got up again, and everyone started trying to run outside because obviously there was like the threat inside, and we were trying to run outside, and my brother, and I couldn't grab my little brother. I was trying to grab him while dragging my mom behind me, and I'm like running to go grab him because he's trying to push his way out through the door to go outside, and I'm like running after him, dragging my mother. And I was running after my brother, and I'm trying to scream Bashi. His name's Mohammed, but his nickname's Bashi, so I'm trying to scream Bashi, but like no one could hear, like you can't even hear yourself scream because everyone's screaming. Like that's all I remember was like people screaming, because I heard people screaming other people's names because they lost someone in that chaos. And then I remember even seeing like little kids get stepped on, and I remember trying like to help pick up some kids because they were getting stepped on or trampled over. But we're outside, and I'm trying to grab my brother while trying to grab my mom behind me, and I finally grab him, and he's crying, and he's literally saying, I don't want to die. And he's only 16, okay? And it broke my heart when he said, I don't want to die. Like, no one should be able to say that. No matter what situation. No one should say, like, no one should be in that state where they say, I don't want to die. Because it was chaos. It was genuinely chaos. And then we're outside in, like, the outside dining part of Giordano's, and this worker is like, come back inside, like, we'll keep you safe, it's fine, it's fine. So this guy's, like, pushing us, and he, like, pushed us in a room with, like, 20 plus people, and it's a small room. It was the tiniest room. I don't know what kind of room it was, but it was tiny, and you saw like when I walked in there, I saw like so many frightened people, because we're in a situation where like one of us, like any of us, could get killed. We don't know what's happening. No one knew what was happening at that moment. But I actually just realized that I forgot a part. But when everything first happened, there was like gunshots. And then on the news, they try to say it was firecrackers, but it's like, when you know what a gunshot sounds like, you know what a gunshot sounds like. I remember hearing like 4 to 5 gunshots, and I was just like, that was not firecrackers. I was like, that's not fire. I mean, there's a difference between fireworks and a gunshot, and I heard gunshots. I don't even care if it was like my adrenaline rushing, like I heard gunshots. But anywho, we're in this room, waiting it to be clear, and then they let us out, and we're back outside, and we're walking, and then once again, everyone starts running, and I was like, because supposedly the threat was on the streets, and then everyone starts running. These little kids were getting stepped on, and I like tried picking them up once again. And then we were like in front of Navy Pier, like the entrance of Navy Pier, and then the policemen like tell us to get back towards the fence, like don't go anywhere. And then my little brother's literally on the floor crying because he doesn't want to move because he's so freaking scared. And I was like, I don't blame you, because I was scared, but like I was scared, but I had to protect my family because like I was there for a reason. Like I needed to protect my family. That was like the only thought that went through my head. It was like to protect your family. Like that was the only thing. It was just like I had to, because I don't know what I would have done if I lost my mom or my little brother. Like I don't even know what I would have done. But we're against the fence, and then we're against the fence, and we're asking the policeman, like, what's happening, like, what happened, what's going on, like tell us something, you know? And we weren't even allowed to, like, leave. No one was allowed to leave. Like, we all just wanted to leave, go back to our cars and go home, because it was a night. Like, that was just the end of the night. Like, we just wanted to go home at the point. Like, I didn't even care what was happening at that point. I was just like, I just wanted to go home. Like, I just wanted to get on the phone. And, like, I just wanted to get on the phone and call my family, just to tell them what happened. But then I ended up calling my dad in the middle of it. And I don't really have the closest relationship with my dad. My parents are divorced. But I called him with my phone being at like 2%. I called him saying, "Hey, I love you. Like, we all love you. Just know." I called him and I said, you know, if anything happens to us tonight, I love you. Even if I don't, like, show it, but I love you. Like, because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if that was going to be our last night, like, our last day on Earth. We didn't know. Because it was so, like, someone could have died. 3 people were stabbed, and then I don't remember the number of how many people were injured from, like, people getting trampled over, but I know it's, like, a high number. Because that was, like, the most of the injuries were people getting trampled over it. Like, yeah, it seems like such a small situation. Like, oh, it was only 3 people that got stabbed. Like, no, like, and then only, like, a handful of people got injuries. But it's like, when you're in that state, like, when you're in that situation, you have no, like, you have no idea how frightening it could be. And, like, you never think that it would happen to you. Like, that's the one thing that I kept saying, was you never think it would happen to you until it does. And that's, like, you know, that situation of people running for their lives, like, complete chaos, is something that you see in the news, something that you see in TV shows or movies. Like, you see that stuff, on a screen, and you never think it happened to you. You know, it seems, like, so exaggerated to think, like, it wouldn't happen to you until it does. And, like, now I know, like, I'm probably never gonna go to Chicago again. I haven't been to Chicago ever since, and I don't think I can, just because anytime I think about Chicago, I think about 4th of July. I, like, keep going back to the story and then, like, giving, like, what my thought is. I'm sorry, this video is gonna be a mess. It's just, like, an emotional video. I'm trying to keep it together. Because, like, I don't even know how to act, but, like, because I really haven't talked about it. You know, I really haven't talked about what happened in Chicago for a while. Like, a couple of days of, like, that incident happening, I haven't talked about it since. I don't really talk about it. I rarely talk about it. And then, you know, everything was fine. And then we're on our way back, and we weren't even allowed to cross the street, and we had to cross the street to get to, like, where we parked, because it was on the other side of the street. But you weren't allowed to cross the street. There was literally policemen at every single, like, corner. Like, literally at every single corner. It was just, like, it was chaos. And then I remember walking back, and my brother was holding me, literally latched on to me, because he was still so scared. He thought something was gonna happen, and he just kept saying, I just want to go home. Like, I just want to go home, never go to Chicago again. Like, that's all he kept saying. And when I say he was latched on to me, like, he was scared for his life. And, like, even if after everything was fine, like, we're walking back, it was, like, hundreds of people walking back to the cars, but, like, everything was fine. And then, you know, we got back into the car. Took us forever just to get home, because the traffic was insane, and, like, took us maybe almost, like, an hour just to get out of Chicago. Yeah, it took us about, like, maybe almost an hour just to get out of Chicago. And in that meantime, I was calling everybody. Like, I was calling everybody, because I didn't even believe what happened. And, like, the first person that I called was my oldest brother, Khalid, and I called him first, explaining what happened. I actually can't even remember who I called first, either Khalid or my dad. I think it was Khalid, and then I called my dad, and then my sister, and then my friends, and I texted. Like, I have a group chat with a couple of my friends, and one of them said, like, one of them was in Chicago at that time, but he was on the boat. He was like on his boat in the water, so like he was on the boat in this water, so he wasn't even there for it. Because I didn't know how to react. That was the thing, because my adrenaline was so high. Like, I was still shaking by, like 2 days later, I was still shaking. Like, literally 2 days later is when I actually felt, like, the pain of, like, my body actually being in pain, because I had a few bruises on the back, like, on my back, and it was sore for days. My whole back was sore, my arms were sore, my neck was sore. I had a pounding headache for like 2 days, and like I could barely move too. Like I had to go to work, and I was like I could barely get up anywhere. Like I could barely get up anywhere because it was just like hard to just move. My mom was completely sore. My little brother, his shoulder hurt a lot because he got mainly stepped on his shoulder. But then his shoulder was sore, and I don't know, my heart broke. My heart was broken because I didn't even care that happened to me or my mom, but like the one person that I cared about was my little brother, because he already has like social anxiety to begin with. Him going to places where it's like in a huge crowd is already hard for him enough. Like he hates going out, he hates being around people, he has social anxiety, he doesn't like being out. And I was just so scared because I thought he would never want to go out again after that. And then we just went to Indiana Beach maybe a couple weeks ago, and he was scared. Like he was scared. He thought like the same thing was gonna happen at like Chicago. The one thing I don't understand is like, how the hell do you let idiots come in with knives or guns, like whatever they had? Like how the hell do you let people in like with them? They searched you. The thing is, like, they searched you. They searched your bag thoroughly. They would pat you. I saw a couple people get patted down. They even they had a metal detector, so it's like obviously they're gonna freaking detect a knife. Like, and in the if they even let them in with the knife, they're retarded. Like, I'm just saying they're retarded. I don't even like that word. I hate that word. But like it's stupid. Like so many people lives were at risk for like it was. I thought on the news they said it was a gang fight, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Take that somewhere else where there's not freaking thousands of people in one area. Take that somewhere else so no one else gets hurt. Once again, my camera died. I swear to God, I need to keep my camera on charge. But I don't even remember what I was talking about. I don't even remember where I left off. I just want to say that it took a lot of courage to film this video, just because I haven't talked about it in so long, and maybe I will feel better talking about it. Maybe I'll feel better after this video because I finally talked about it, maybe I'll feel better since I talked about it, and it's been a while since I talked. And I just want to say one thing to you guys out there. If you're going to a place where it's crowded and there's thousands of people, like hundreds and hundreds of people, be careful. That's all I have to say is be careful, because you never know what could happen. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Like, I was having a great time with my family, and then everything happened. Chaos happened. And it was it was genuinely the worst day of my life. And I've had a lot of bad days in my life, but this is obviously a sad video, but I just wanted to share a little bit about me. And when it comes to YouTubers, you only see those 10 to 20 something minute videos of their life. You never know what happens behind the scenes and what they go through. And obviously obviously I don't have a perfect life. No one has a perfect life. I just know that I've been through a lot, and I still go through a lot, but I just wanted to share a little bit about me, and maybe in the future I'll talk about more stuff that I've been through, and just trying to get you guys more connected with me and see how I run and how I feel. But that does conclude today's video. Thank you guys for watching, of just me just sitting here talking about the worst day of my life. It sounds so dramatic, but It really was the worst day of my life, but be sure to subscribe, click that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment down below if you want to follow me behind the scenes. I'll leave my social media down in the description box.